First, fine-tune your production and process. At Disney World, outside of the locker room where, outside of the locker room where all the characters dress, there's a big sign that says "Take pride in the product," because they understand that even if the guy playing Donald Duck is having a bad day, the guest coming to the park, it may be a once-in-a-lifetime experience for them. So they have to make it fresh and exciting every single day. Your countertop is going to be in the people's homes for a very long time representing you. If your guy had a bad day, that customer doesn't care that they had a bad day and didn't quite polish it right or didn't quite cut it straight. You have to make sure that your process is delivering the best countertop you can make every single time because it's out representing you. What is your product? I'm sorry, I'm picking on you. What's your name?
Jesse.
Jesse. Jesse, what's your product?
Car house.
Yes and no. Your product is not just a countertop, and that goes for everybody. Your product is the entire experience from the day the person first makes contact with your company until the day they're sitting drinking coffee at the countertop and forgot the countertop wasn't always there. Okay? How is your phone answered? And how is it answered when you're not there? Does your automatic answer say Merry Christmas in July? Is it scratchy? Call yourself. See what it says. Are your salespeople, do they dress neat and dress like their customer? Okay, are they available when the customer needs them? I have a customer that can't understand why they never get enough sales. Their showroom is open from 10 to 1 on Monday and Tuesday, and 1 to 3 on Wednesday and Thursday. How do you do that? Okay? So are your salespeople, if you don't have salespeople that are willing to do Friday nights or Saturday or Sunday or be available when the customer needs them, because everybody's got two jobs, both, husband and wife both work now. So if you don't have people that will get there when the customer needs them, big problem. What's your slab selection process like? If you are sending your customers to the granite wholesale to pick out slabs unescorted, some of them are going to be stolen. And you don't know what that person is talking. They may be selling your customer leftovers, what they can't sell to anybody else. So you have to make sure that your slab selection process is customer friendly. How are you doing that? And look at the whole process, everything you're doing to make sure that you're doing the best possible. Make it not only the countertop, but the whole process customer friendly. Several months ago, we had a big storm in Chicago, and we lost trees. There was trees over my driveway, and the trees hanging on my electrical wires. And we called up a tree service, and he came out and saved my electrical lines and got me out of the driveway. Did a wonderful job. But he told me he was going to rake up and get all the debris. Well, he didn't rake up the debris, and he trampled my wife's peonies. Well, it was a storm. Half the neighborhood needed a tree cutter, and they saw the truck, and they came and asked us after he was gone. And my wife said, "Well, he did a wonderful job, saved the bush, but you know what? Look at the mess, and look at my poor bushes." 6 people called us and asked about a tree service. None of them went to that tree service. Now, that tree guy never heard the complaint. If your standard is, well, I didn't hear any complaints, it's a pretty low standard. You have to not only not get complaints, you have to make that customer delighted, so you don't have to ask referral. If he'd cleaned up and done it, I've been delighted to give his name. I would have called my friends that need tree service. And that's where you got to be. Now, if you're using commercial grade granite, if you're waxing the edges instead of polishing, if you're cutting corners, I promise not to talk about sinks, but if you're using some of the cheap sinks out there instead of a good sink, you may never hear the complaint. But your customers, friends, and relatives will. Your prospects will hear about your product.